Hey all, and welcome back. Jumping on here real quick to say something that you have probably figured out for yourselves. It's the noise in the classroom, and yes, the classroom management that is harder and harder to keep in check. And I want to give my 2 cents here, since this is a sad fact. Yes, students are getting ruder and ruder in the classroom, and that's the true and sad reality, like I've just said. And many of us are just shying away from admitting the truth, since they might be criticized, and this is something they can't, or not everybody can handle, of course. Well, if you're interested, keep watching me, and I am hoping to be able to address the elephant in the room as realistically possible, since it is something that we've been having for quite a while now with Generation Alpha and the shift in mentality we've been experiencing so far. This is just to show that there is such a fine line between good and bad and right or wrong when it comes to education, that you just can't turn and mustn't turn a blind eye when it comes to what is best for our children, and start uniting our forces and start coming together in a common effort to do what's best for them. But that is something to save up for later, in a later video, when I'm going to get into the roles assigned to each participant in the education field and how each and every one of us is dealing with it. For now, let's just stick to our talk, which is disruption in the classroom, how bad it is getting, and how it's affecting us teachers. Well, don't get me wrong, I don't want to come off as, just I'm complaining or I can't keep them in check, the class and what I'm doing there. No. It's not what it's all about. It's just like trying to keep as much of a positive and productive learning environment as it can get. So it's now all coming down to, is it even possible to keep as much of a positive and constructive and beneficial environment as it can get? Well, let me give you the behind the scenes picture so you get a clearer idea of what I'm trying to tell you. Besides the noise I was mentioning in the beginning of the video, there is so many others that leave us teachers in a constant struggle for gaining back our efforts, our power. And that is, just to name a few, talking over the teacher, not keeping up with the board, chit-chatting as if they've got endless stories going on and sharing amongst themselves. Well, gossiping as well, I suppose. What else? Being distracted, continuously being distracted by I don't know what, happening outside of the school and the lesson, and who knows what else. Name calling, I forgot that one as well. And that is just a few, like I said, leaving us teachers all worn out and sucked out of all our positive energy and of all our enthusiasm that we initially stepped in the classroom with. And to just put it in a nutshell, it's the tug of war that we are constantly going back and forth with our students, trying to make them understand that it's all for their good and in their best interest. And in conclusion, our students not being able to pay attention, to keep track of what we're doing, of focusing on what matters for them, and therefore poor results and not performing to the best of their ability. Well, with this said, I just want us to get on with this video by sharing with you a real example of what has been going on in class, of what's going on in class, in fact. And that is the minute when everything is going haywire and all the mayhem is unfolding, when they are not paying attention anymore, and each of one is talking, and mumbling and muttering in their own language, so to speak, not English anyway. So that is the minute when I'm trying my best to keep them engaged and throw in some kind of game to wake them up from their storm, their storm of their mind storm, the way as I call it. Well, another example of what I've been telling you so far, and just to prove my point, besides what I've told you, is something that's absolutely normal in the English class, which is talking about various topics. And that may be, lifestyles, routines, eating habits, free time, leisure activities, all this kind of things. And at some point we touched on the language, the alpha generation language, the slang that they're using, kind of like sigma, your alpha, your, and this kind of language that they literally started laughing over and over and over about. And it's hard. It's just damn hard to be getting them back on track and getting them engaged in what you are doing, because all they're doing is having their mind in all places and not paying attention and focusing to what you're saying to them. This is so hard. And that is why I chose to give this video the title that you already know. It's they're getting it all wrong, because sometimes it's students and only students that they're taking it way too far. And that is due to two reasons. One, it's the way I see things. One, it's because they're accustomed somehow, they're used to looking at the teacher as some kind of entertainer, where he has to play all the active role and do all the entertaining and the fun part, Well, they are just watching and doing nothing. How do you feel about this? Do you feel the same? I feel that this is becoming more and more true by the day. Believe me, they are not interested, or less and less interested and willing to put in the effort to do something, to come up with creative answers to what you're proposing. in the class, you know, as far as the speaking topics go and some other lesson ideas and other things as well. And this is making it harder for us to keeping them entertained and to keeping them active and participative in the lesson. And number 2 is the lack of rules at home, and the fact that the parents that I was bringing up in the beginning are not keeping them in check, or not are too permissive of what they should do and they shouldn't do. And this is creating such a big mess, such a big confusion in their heads as to what they're still supposed to do in class, as to what they're permitted at home. And that's where all the hell, all the mayhem, if you may, is coming from. This is kind of kind of all of the things that I was meaning to share with you here. And I hope that I was able to kind of not only shed some light, but also bring some awareness over the matter. And hope that you are also going to give your 5 cents here in the comments. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video, and I'll see you again here for some reflection soon as well. Bye for now.